Hello, my name is Philip Totaro. I'm the founder and CEO of market research firm IntelStor. Welcome to your weekly dose of truth to power. Truth to Power examines data driven insights for the energy sector with a focus on renewables. On this week's episode, we'll share the ultimate wind turbine buyer's guide, including the technical and commercial analysis used by the procurement departments of project developers. Well, there are many different ways to leverage data to make informed procurement decisions. The factors being evaluated by procurement departments include things like capacity factor, historical performance versus energy yield, purchase price per megawatt hour produced, and the OpEx cost per megawatt hour produced. Additionally, analysis of the net profit through planned end of asset life is becoming the ultimate measurement of purchase intent by a project developer. So let's dive in and see how the turbine OEMs facilitate profitability for asset owners. Net capacity factor is still a measure used to understand where wind turbines could be the most productive. In the USA, GE Vernova still enjoys the highest average capacity factor amongst OEMs. Goldwind, Vestas, and Siemens Gamesa are all around the market average of 34.2%, with Nordex just behind. However, what appears to be poor performance from Nordex is actually emblematic of the fact that they do not often have preferred placement at project sites that have the highest wind resource potential. But it's also clear that younger turbines across all OEMs have a higher average capacity factor, despite the fact that they're being installed in a lower wind speed regime. Typically, a higher average wind speed would translate into a higher capacity factor, but more efficient turbines have been manufactured in more recent years to exploit the lower average wind speed regimes. So, what's more useful would be to look at technical performance by benchmarking the capacity factor against the pre-construction energy yield assessment. Now, one caveat to that is depending on the age of the projects and the methods used to estimate the energy yield, this may not be a perfect way to look at asset benchmarking, but it's definitely better than just pure net capacity factor. In this case, GE Vernova still leads the US market with 62.15% of their installed base operating at or above a P50 energy yield. Vestas is in second with 54.8%, followed by Siemens Gamesa, Goldwind, and then Nordex. So, technical performance is certainly part of the equation, but how productive the turbines are for the money spent certainly helps guide purchase intent amongst project developers. So, one metric they look at is the turbine price per megawatt hour produced. It averages just under $382 in the USA for all OEMs. Vestas actually offers the best value for money at just a fraction over $350 per megawatt hour for their installed base of just over 41.7 gigawatts. GE Vernova is second at $369.40, with Goldwind in third at $386.26 per megawatt hour. It's noteworthy that both Siemens Gamesa and Nordex are comparable in price at around $429 per megawatt hour. The reason being that developers are using this metric to guide purchase decisions. If an OEM makes a bid for turbine supply and they're higher than their competitors, they're likely asked to discount their price accordingly so that this production adjusted turbine price is comparable. That means the turbine OEMs will try to put their best foot forward by maybe looking at other key metrics such as availability and how cost effective the turbines are to maintain. So, just like we can look at turbine prices per megawatt hour produced, we can also look at O&M cost per megawatt hour. While asset performance certainly degrades over time due to mechanical component wear, it's still important to note that OEMs are fairly even on production adjusted maintenance cost across the entire installed base in the US. Now, as we face a new political reality where the production tax credit driven capacity additions and asset repowering will be heavily curtailed, the OEMs with the best long term maintenance value are likely to be favored until the production tax credits can be restored and the industry can get back to business. So, the last critical metric that project developers look at is their project pro forma model. This factors in the CapEx cost, OpEx cost, PPA, production tax credit, the cost of finance, and everything else that influences whether a project will be commercially viable or not. And while Senvion still leads the market in the United States on net profit to an asset owner through the planned end of asset life, that was due to legacy PPAs in California that are well above $100 a megawatt hour that have heavily weighted their profitability despite technical performance that's lower than average. Of the mainstream wind turbine OEMs that are still actively offering turbines in the US market, Vestas actually beats GE Vernova on net profit per megawatts installed, followed by Siemens Gamesa. Nordex and Goldwind trail behind, and as I noted before, neither of them tends to be selected for kind of the premier project sites, so they don't have the highest capacity factors or the highest PPAs that would translate into the highest profits for asset owners. But that's not to say that their turbines wouldn't necessarily perform the same if they had the same operating conditions as GE Vernova, Vestas, or Siemens Gamesa. Well, I trust this has given you some insight on the methods and the data used by procurement departments at project development companies and how asset performance, availability, and financial returns matter. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm Philip Totaro, and this has been your weekly dose of truth to power. Follow us on IntelStor's YouTube channel as well as your favorite audio platforms. And visit www.intelstor.com to join more than 200,000 subscribers to our renewable energy data solutions. A full analysis, including all the data we shared today with live interactive charts, is available to subscribers. And you can register today for the next Wind Summit event in Houston, Texas this October. Visit www.windsummit.org and join hundreds of your industry colleagues from companies like NextEra, EDPR, EDF, Pattern Energy, Clearway, Apex Clean Energy, and more. We hope to see you there.